Okay, so that's always a good thing. And let me change the view. Speaker. Okay, Haribol. So we're doing Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 7, entitled Lord Chaitanya and Five Features. And we'll start with text 6. Everybody agree?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, Guru.
So this verse should sound familiar because we did this in the very first chapter. It was text 14. And also, this is one verse that we should memorize as well. So if you can. Panchatatattvakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktyakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Translation. Let me offer my obeisances unto Lord Krishna, Shri Krishna, who has manifested himself in 5 as a devotee, expansion of a devotee, incarnation of a devotee, pure devotee, and devotional energy. So somebody read the purport, will explain it.
I can read, Prabhu.
Please go ahead.
Sri Nityanand Prabhu is the immediate expansion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his brother. He is the personified spiritual bliss of Satchit Ananda Vigraha. His body is transcendental and full of ecstasy in devotional service. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is therefore called Bhakta Rupa, the form of a devotee. And Sri Nityanand Prabhu is called Bhakta Swarupa, the expansion of devotee. Sri Advait Prabhu, the incarnation of a devotee, is Vishnu Tattva and belongs to the same category. There are also different types of bhaktas or devotees on the platform of neutrality, servitude, friendship, parenthood, and conjugal love. Devotees like Sri Damodar, Sri Gadadhar, and Sri Ramanand are different energies. This confirms the Vedic Sutra Parashya Shaktir Vividhaiva Suryate. All these bhakta subjects taken together constitute Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself.
Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, so Panchtattvas by name. Who can name the 5 Panchtattvas, please? Anybody? Just name them.
Nityanand Prabhu,
Ah,
Advaitva Prabhu, and Shri Gadadhar and Shrivas.
that's only 4.
And the Prabhu himself.
Sorry?
And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Okay, all right. So those are 5.
5.
So,
Yeah.
what this is explaining is that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. And because Lord Nityananda is Balaram, his immediate expansion of, as Balaram, his immediate expansion of Lord Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya is appearing as Krishna, his immediate expansion is Lord Nityananda. So, non-different. And later on, we'll read a line of a bhajan which says, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya, Balaram Hail Nitai. This is a bhajan by Narottam Das Thakur. So saying Radha Krishna combined is Lord Chaitanya and Lord Balaram is Lord Nityananda. So Lord Balaram is expansion, therefore Lord Nityananda is expansion. So it's expansion of a devotee. Krishna himself is appearing as a devotee. What was the main reason? One main reason for Lord Krishna appearing as Lord Chaitanya?
To feel the
To experience the mood of Radharani.
I'm sorry?
To experience the mood of Radharani.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we'll accept that. So
Yes.
basically, he cannot taste his own sweetness. He cannot enjoy his own beauty. He cannot feel what a devotee feels because he is the object of that love. So therefore, he says, to feel all that, I have to come as a devotee, and that's Lord Chaitanya. Okay? So Krishna is Lord Chaitanya, Balaram is Lord Nityananda, And Advaita Acharya is?
Mahavishnu and Sadashiv.
Sorry, Pallavi Mataji, say it again, please.
Mahavishnu, the Vishnu Tattva, and also the Shiva Tattva.
Okay, and who else?
Vishnu plus
Mahavishnu and Sadashiv.
Sadashiv.
So, because Sadashiv is Vishnu Tattva, Shiva is not Shiva Tattva, Vishnu Tattva. Shiva is Shiva Tattva, but Sadashiv is Vishnu Tattva.
Okay.
So, the combined form of Sadashiv and Mahavishnu
Is Advaita.
Advaita Acharya. And also, we read in a previous chapter that Advaita Acharya is really that portion of Mahavishnu that from whom emanate the universes, all the universes. So remember two parts of Mahavishnu, gazing at the material nature and producing all the universes.
Yes.
So producing of all the universes done by the Advaita Acharya feature of Mahavishnu. So whichever way you look at it, the three Ishwar Tattvas in the Panchatattvas. Who are the three Ishwar Tattvas?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Mahaprabhu, Advaita Acharya.
Okay. So, by the way, we also talk about it later on. We don't say Nityanand Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu is reserved for Lord Chaitanya. So, it's Nityanand Prabhu, Advaita Acharya Prabhu, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we'll talk about that later on. So, those three are Ishwar Tattvas or Vishnu Tattva. Now, then it talks about different types of devotees. And now it's talking about devotees like Damodar, Shri Damodar, just Damodar Swarup Damodar, I should say, Gadadhar Pandit, and Ramanand Roy. They're different energies. What does that mean? Okay, so who are they in the Krishna Lila? Swarup Damodar is Vishakha Sakhi, right? Gadadhar Pandit is Radharani.
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 Mood of Chandravali. That's a very important thing to note. Radharani in the mood of Chandravali. And Ramanand Roy is Lalita Sakhi. So they're all energies of Krishna. Right? They're there to serve Krishna or Lord Chaitanya. Right? So basically, Lord Chaitanya appeared, but he used these devotees to propagate the holy name. Right? So hence the quotation from, actually is from Shvetashvatar Upanishad, and the whole verse goes, Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, Natasya sam abhyadkashcha dashyate, parasa shakti vivdhava shrute, swabhavaki jnana bal kiya. Which means that Krishna has nothing to do. And there's nobody equal to or greater than Krishna. Why? Because everything is done by his various energies. Naturally is done. So all the work that he came to do is being done by his energies. Okay, and the three examples are given here. The last line is very important. All the bhakta subjects taken together constitute Mahaprabhu. What does that mean? So those of you who took the Net of Devotion course may remember that when we say Krishna, it includes everybody. Krishna's devotees, Krishna's abode, Krishna's holy name, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's form. It's all included in the one word Krishna. So similarly, in one word Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or two words, everybody is included. All the bhaktas, all the parshads, all the associates, they're all included. Okay? Any questions on that? All right, then we move to text 7. स्वयं भगवान कृष्ण एकले ईश्वर अद्वितीय नंदात्मज रसिक शेखर. Translation. Krishna, the reservoir of all pleasure, is the supreme personality of Godhead himself. Though we all know that. The supreme controller. No one is greater than or equal to Shri Krishna, which is the verse I was quoting also. Yet he appears as the son of Maharaj Nanda. So somebody read the purport, then I'll explain.
I can read, Prabhuji.
Please.
In this verse, Kaviraj Goswami gives an accurate description of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by stating that although no one is equal or greater than him, and he is the reservoir of all spiritual pleasure, he nevertheless appears as the son of Maharaj Nand and Yashoda Mai.
So, what does this mean? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is the one of the qualities of Supreme Personality of Godhead? Is Adi. Right? What does Adi mean? Ishvara Paramaha Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadi Adir Govinda. So, what does Adi mean there?
Eternal. Eternal?
No,
Primary.
Begin.
Origin or first.
original. Yeah, original. There's nobody's origin of him. He's the origin of everybody. Right? So, if he's the origin of everybody, how can he be son of somebody? But that means the parents are the origin. Right? And that's the wonderful, what's the word? Contradictory quality of Krishna. That even though he's Anadi and Adi, he's still born, he takes birth from the womb, so-called womb of a mother. Mother Devaki, in her prayers when Krishna appeared in Mathura, said the same thing. She said, I cannot understand that all the universes rest in you. And you are resting in my womb. How is that possible?
Mhm.
So same thing. This is one of those achintya, inconceivable potencies and qualities of Krishna. That's the point being made here, that he is the reservoir of all pleasure, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Supreme Controller. There's no one equal to him, Advitiya, nobody equal to or greater than him, yet he appears as the son of Nandaneshwar. Okay, that is his quality. He's giving the superior position to his devotees, pro devotees. Okay, any questions on that?
Prabhuji, may I ask a question?
You may.
So it's a question that has been again running in back of my mind.
Okay.
So Krishna is the Supreme Personality. He has all the opulences. However, still he comes always not alone, but in company. Either Radha Krishna, Chaitanya Nityananda, Gaur Nitai, Chaitanya Nityananda, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Ram, Sita. Why can't he come alone? I mean, he's capable, but
So
why can't he
I
come
would-
alone and do his
I would draw your
leelas?
attention to the last two words of this particular text 7. Please read the last two words. What does it say?
Nand and Yash.
No, last two words.
The translation.
Oh no, in the verse 7 says Rasik Shekhar. You see the last two words? Second line.
Rasika Shekhar.
Yeah. Rasik Shekhar. Yes,
See that?
yes.
And the translation says Rasika means
Enjoyer.
mellows. Shekhar
Yeah.
means top, the topmost enjoyer of all the mellows. Now, how can you enjoy any mellow by yourself?
Can you not enjoy them with just regular, normal
You
human
tell me,
beings?
how will you enjoy Madhurya Ras all by yourself? How will you enjoy Vatsalya Ras all by yourself? You need parents. For Madhurya Ras, you need somebody you love. How will you enjoy Sakharas if you there are no friends? Right?
But Sri Ram, sorry, Prabhuji.
No, go ahead.
Sri Ram came fine. Krishna's appearance was not just for Dharma Sanstapana, not just for that. It was to enjoy the mellows as well. However, when Sri Ram came, he was just
No.
Purushottam. Why did he want to enjoy the
He was
mellows as
not
well?
enjoying.
Yeah.
He was
So
not
why
beyond.
did he not come alone?
That's what I'm saying. He wanted to enjoy too. So let me tell you a very wonderful story. I take you back to the story of Prahlad Maharaj and Lord Nrsimhadev. So you all know how Nrsimhadev was so angry and he killed Hiranyakashipu. After that, he sat on the throne of Hiranyakashipu He was still so angry that even the demigods, including Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, even Mother Lakshmi, were scared to come near him. Right? Everybody knows that? He was very, very angry. Blood on his whiskers, the intestine of Hiranyakashipu around his neck, and his eyes red with anger, still roaring. Nobody dared to come near him. So then finally Brahma said to, Mother Lakshmi refused. She said, that's not my husband. I'm not going near him. So Brahma said to Prahlad, okay, you go. So a 5-year-old, what does he know? He just went and offered his obeisance. This is a lot, took so much mercy and had so much love in his heart for him. He picked him up, put him on his lap, and they were talking. So now this is Lord Nrsimhadev, the angry lion and human combination, speaking to him. Suddenly, Lord Nrsimhadev starts crying. Now try to imagine Lord Nrsimhadev crying. And he said to Prahlad, Prahlad, you're very fortunate. Prahlad's looking at him and saying, how am I so fortunate? And he said, because you have parents. I don't have parents. You look at all the incarnations before him. Who came before Lord Nrsimhadev? Matsya Avatar, Kurma Avatar, Varaha Avatar, no parents. Nrsimhadev also no parents. She said, I don't have parents. Next time I come, I will make sure I have parents. I need somebody to pick me up, cuddle me, toss me in the air, talk to me in the, goo goo goo, ga ga ga, alla alla beta beta, like that. I need somebody to talk to me like that. So therefore, when Nrsimhadev came next time, he came as Lord Ram, he came as parents. He needed that company.
Oh.
Right? He also married, so he needed Madhuri-ras. He made friends. Hanumanji, Sugriv, Vibhishan, they were his friends. So they need that. You cannot be Rasik Shekhar all by yourself. Okay?
So is it fair to say that if God needs that, then as human beings, sorry, when they say man is a social animal, we need relationships as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You don't want to be a loner. And what's the one thing in our devotional service always emphasize? Devotee association. They all say, do not try to be a loner devotee. You will fall down. If Paramhansas can do that alone, you and I cannot do that. We need support. We need a helping hand. We need the blessings. We need instructions. We need guidance. If you have no association, you cannot get that. Right? And Mataji, also, I know people who were in Toronto, they moved to some other smaller cities. And they would cry, they would call me and they would cry, we're dying for devotee association. That's how important it is. So you're right. We need that. We need that desperately for more than one reason.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, this Sunday we
Actually,
were
Ruchira
cooking.
Mataji sending a message. Ruchira Mataji lives in Vernon, BC. There's no temple there, and apparently there are no other devotees either. As you ask her how lonely she feels in terms of missing devotee association.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes we're fortunate enough to be in a city with lots of devotees. So we fight and we complain, but we don't understand how lucky we are to have devotees around us. Right? So Krishna
There was
is Shekhar.
sorry,
I'm sorry, but you go ahead. You go ahead.
there was a devotee from Kingston this time. The three of them came and they started helping us in the cooking. When the cooking was halfway done, I was sitting, just resting a little. And she came, she was crying. She was crying. I said, why you are crying so much? She couldn't see, for 2 minutes, she couldn't talk even. Then I keep on saying, why are you crying? Tell me the reason. And she said, I don't have any devotees association
There you go.
in Kingston.
There you
That's why I'm crying.
Yeah. Yeah. So we really must.
I said, but you are chanting. You have Prabhupada ji on your back. You have Lord Krishna in front of you. So you have everything. Why you are worried? You have two girls with you. Those are all devotees. They are supporting you. Then slowly, I convinced her and she calmed down.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the point, right? It's illustrating the point I was trying to make. We are very lucky. It's very lucky to have devotee association.
Yeah, we are very lucky, Prabhuji.
And Krishna says, I'm not appearing. He says, Krishna says, actually, the only reason I'm appearing is to have some mellows with my pure devotees. I have no other reason. I don't have to appear to kill the demons. I can just turn their heart valve off. Get a heart attack and done. Right? I can stop the supply of oxygen for 1 minute. They'll be done. I don't have to do all that. He says, Anugrahaya Bhaktanam Manusham Deham Astita. Bhajet Tadrishi Krinam Yava, Yasutva Tatparo Bhavet. This is Bhagavatam, chapter 10, I think chapter 1, text 16. He says basically, Krishna appears to show mercy upon his devotees in the form of a human being, and then he performs pastimes, hearing which we get delivered. But hearing which you got to hear from somebody. If you don't have anybody to tell you, then how are you going to hear it? Right? So there's just no substitute for devotee association, whether for Krishna or for us. Okay. So, Shalini, does that answer your question?
Beautifully. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. You
But
answered more than what I could even think of questions, So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Prabhuji,
Haji?
so what does this word Atma Rama mean when you say the Lord is completely self-satisfied, he doesn't need
That's a
anybody?
very good question. That's a very good question. Krishna is full of paradoxes, as we all know, right? He's absolute truth but tells a lie, right? He's the owner of everything but steals, right? So it's paradox. Similarly, he's Rasik Shekhar, he wants the company, that's why he expands, but also is Atmaram, self-satisfied. So then why? Because he does it for us. He doesn't have to perform pastimes. He does it for us, for our purification. He doesn't have to eat prasad or bhoga. He does it for us, for our purification. He doesn't need someone to do arti for him. He does it for us, for our purification. So yes, it's a paradox, but he's doing that for us.
Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking a wonderful question. Okay, anybody else? In that case, we'll move to number 8. Actually, the same point continues. Rasadi Vilasi Vaje Lalana Nagar Arjat Sabudek Tarpari Kar. Translation. Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the supreme enjoyer in the rasa dance. He is the leader of the damsels of Braja, and all others are simply his associates. Read the purport, I'll explain this. Another wonderful point here. Somebody wants to read the purport?
I can read
I
it.
agree, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, the word Rasadi Vilas, the enjoyer of Rasa dance, is very important. The Rasa dance can be enjoyed only by Sri Krishna because he is the supreme leader and chief of the damsels of Vrindavan. All others are his devotees and associates. Although no one can compare with Sri Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, there are many unscrupulous rascals who imitate the Rasa dance of Sri Krishna. They are Mayavadis and people should be wary of them. The Rasa dance can be performed only by Sri Krishna and no one else.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
So, Prabhu, the first half is so wonderful. Just read this again. The word Rasadi Vilasi, the enjoyer of the rasa dance, is very important. Why? Because the rasa dance can be enjoyed only by Shri Krishna. Stop here. 3 billion gopis, 3 billion gopis there, and none of them is enjoyer. That doesn't mean they're not enjoying, but not the enjoyer. It's only one enjoyer. That's Krishna. So who are the other 3 billion? What's the word for them? Anybody? If Krishna is the enjoyer, what are these 3 billion gopis?
Enjoyed.
Enjoyed. Thank you, Mataji. Wonderful. They are the enjoyed.
To be enjoyed or enjoyed.
And we should never forget that. Similarly, we are not the enjoyer. We are the enjoyed. To be enjoyed. Now, does that mean we should not get any pleasure? Sure, we should. Doesn't mean we should not enjoy. Sure, we should, but there's a difference. Krishna is the independent enjoyer. We are dependent enjoyer. What does that mean? It means that our enjoyment, our pleasure depends upon Krishna's enjoyment, Krishna's pleasure. So we get our enjoyment from Krishna's enjoyment. We get our pleasure from Krishna's pleasure. We offer him bhoga because he enjoyed it, we enjoyed honoring it. But if it's not a dependent pleasure, it's called self-gratification and therefore condemned. Does everybody understand that point? Independent enjoyment is self-gratification. Dependent enjoyment is bhakti. Bhakti is good, sense enjoyment is not. Even though everything else may be the same. Okay, does that make sense to you? If not, please ask question. Another very, very important point.
It makes sense, Prabhu, but like in a practical sense, I don't know how to apply this in our
Yeah, that's
everyday
right.
life.
I agree. I totally agree. This is why we need to continue with the process so that one day we can get there. We're not there yet,
Okay.
but we know the target. So it's like if you go to Montreal, as long as you know go to Montreal, you will not go west,
Okay.
right? But it will take you a long time. It depends upon you fly, you take a train, and you drive, you take a bus, you walk backwards, you do Danvat Parikrama all the way to different amount of time it may take. But if you keep going that way, you will get there.
At least we are on the right path, Prabhu.
Exactly. And also, let me remind every one of you. Srila Prabhupada said, if you continue to chant for 16 rounds, follow four regulative principles, I guarantee, Prabhupada said, I guarantee you will go back over to God. He said, I will take you myself. So where is the doubt? I am very
No doubt.
comfortable. Prabhupada said so. Why am I going to worry? Right? And that's, again, those of you how many people read Nectar of Instruction? One? Only one? Two? Three? Four? That's it? Okay, anyway, so there's a verse there, verse number 3. Utsahat nischayat dharyat tat karma pravartanat. How does it go?
Sangatyagat
Thank you.
satovritte
Sangatyaga satovritte shadvi bhakti.
Bhakti.
Thank you, Nityamrita. So the second verse is nischayat. Utsahat nischayat. Nischayat means full confidence. Full confidence will happen. So that's what we need to have, full confidence. Prabhupada said, we'll go home. All we have to do is continue with our chanting and following the four regulative principles. That's it. So where's the doubt? Right?
Prabhuji,
Ji?
regarding the application, is it fair to say that, if let's say you're offering your bhoga to the Lord and eating that prasadam, and you think, okay, today I'm going to make kheer because he loves kheer, and you make that kheer and you offer that, so the whole driver behind the menu could be, okay, this is what they're going to enjoy. So does that make sense in terms of like applying the dependent enjoyment concept that you spoke about?
So, Mataji, so I don't have fully understood what you're saying, but I'm going to assume what you really mean is that I want to eat, but I make it and say it's for Krishna, you offer it to him, then I enjoy it. Is that what you're saying?
But I decide to make it
That's what I'm
thinking
saying.
he would like it, not because I want to eat it.
Okay. So if your mood really is he would like it, that's perfect.
Okay.
But in general, what happens, Mataji, is that I feel like having kheer today. I'll make the kheer for Krishna. I'll offer it to him. Hopefully enjoy it. Then I'll honor the prasad. That mood is slightly different from what you're talking about. And I would say the one I describe is more common than what you describe. But if what you describe is valid for you, wonderful. You already got it made.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Text 9. Sei Krishna avatirna Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Sei Parikaragana Sange Sabadhanya. The self-same Lord Krishna advented himself as Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with all his eternal associates were also equally glorious. So all the people who came. So one other thing I should point out, many of the associates of Lord Chaitanya were either Sakhis or Manjaris in Krishna Lila, right? We just took some examples now, so Damodar, Ramana Rai, and
Gadadhar Pandit.
Radha Pandit, and then we know Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, all the 6 Goswamis, so many others, they were Manjaris, right? So what happened was during Krishna Lila, they had one lamentation, all the Sakhis. Lamentation was, we can only be with Krishna at night time, when he jumps out of his window and comes to us. Or rendezvous in places where others cannot see us. So the caves up Govardhan Hill, Radhakund, so on and so forth. But daytime, otherwise, only the Gopas are there. So they said, we wish we had male body, then we could be with Krishna all the time. So when Krishna comes, Lord Chaitanya, all the Sakhis and Manjaris came as male associates. So they could spend all the time with Lord Chaitanya. Okay? So just a side note.
Very interesting point, Prabhuji.
Yes, Madaji.
Yeah, I always wondered why they were all Manjis. What happened to all of Krishna's Gopa friends?
Now you got the answer.
They never
were
come
some.
down.
There were some. It's not that nobody came. Like Subal came, few others came, but very few. Okay. All right, text 10. Ayakale Ishwar Tattva Chaitanya Ishwar Bhakta Bhav May Tar Shuddha Kalevar. Translation. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the supreme controller, the one personality of Godhead, has ecstatically become a devotee, yet his body is transcendental and not materially tinged. So just because it comes as a devotee doesn't mean it becomes an ordinary human being. Okay. So just leave the purport and we'll discuss this more.
Pado.
I can read, Prabhu. Prabhu, can I read, Prabhu?
Of course you can. Of course, go ahead, please.
There are different tattvas or truths, including Isha Tattva, Jiva Tattva, and Shakti Tattva. Isha Tattva refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, who is the Supreme Living Force. In the Katha Upanishad, it is said, Nitya Nityanam, Chetnas Chetnanam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Eternal and the Supreme Living Force. The living entities are also eternal and are also living forces, but they are very minute in quantity, whereas the Supreme Lord is the Supreme Living Force and the Supreme Eternal. The Supreme Eternal never accepts a body of a temporary material nature, whereas the living entities who are part and parcel of the Supreme Eternal are prone to do so. Thus, according to the Vedic mantras, the Supreme Lord is the Supreme Master of innumerable living entities.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
So now Prabhupada is explaining the 3 tattvas, the Ishwar Tattva or Vishnu Tattva, Jiv Tattva, and Shakti Tattva. He's saying Ish Tattva refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whether it's Krishna or Vishnu or like Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, Advaita, etc., etc. And then he's making something very interesting, that distinction between Jiv Tattva and Ishwar Tattva. So what is the distinction that we know very well? Distinction between Ishwar Tattva and Jiv Tattva. What is that one? According to the Achintya Bheda Bhed philosophy.
The quantity, the size, like.
Correct. So we're same in quality, but we are infinitesimal in size, whereas Krishna is infinite. Right? So, but Mame Vansho Jivaloke Jivbhuta Sanatana, so you're part and parcel of Krishna, therefore all the qualities are there. right? Again, the example is given. Take a spoonful of ocean water. All the qualities of the ocean water are there in the spoon water, but the size obviously. So same thing with us and Krishna. Then there's another distinction being made here from Katha Upanishad or Kathopanishad. It's Nitya Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. So Nitya means eternal. So we are all eternal, right? Anybody here who's not eternal? Raise your hand if you're not eternal. Okay. So we are all eternal. But Krishna is eternal also. Then what is the difference? What is the difference in the eternity of Krishna and us? Nothing except we are from him.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are part and parcel of him. So we're both eternal. So therefore, he is more eternal than eternals, if that's possible. But that's what makes Nitya Nityanam. Among the eternals, he's more eternal because he's the origin. Okay, I know it's a very confusing concept and I can't really explain it any better. But we are both eternal, but somehow he's more eternal. Okay. Similarly, what's our other quality of the soul? We're conscious. Right? Is there any soul that's not conscious? Okay. So therefore, Krishna is also conscious. But what is the difference between his consciousness and our consciousness?
He is most conscious, we are just conscious.
Okay, explain that. Elaborate more.
His consciousness is pure.
Well, ours can be pure.
I think our consciousness is limited to us.
Yes.
His consciousness is,
Yes.
he's conscious of everything.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Chapter
Yes.
13, Bhagavad Gita.
Yep.
So same thing here, Chetanas Chetananam. Among all the conscious entities, he is more conscious. Okay. So basically, again, implying that he is the superior personality, supreme personality, and we are just there. Okay. So he's the supreme living force or supreme eternal. We are some living force and eternal. We're not supreme. Okay. I remember one time a disciple of Srila Prabhupada went to him and said, Prabhupada, I'm the most fallen. You know, artificial humility. Like, Prabhupada, I'm the most fallen. And Prabhupada sees through this. He saw through these things very easily and very quickly. So immediately he said, you are not most anything. You are not most anything. You know, so stop, bragging. You're most fallen. You're not most anything. You're just ordinary, insignificant living being. That's it. Right? So point being made here is that Krishna is a supreme eternal. Krishna is a supreme conscious. We are simply eternal and simply conscious. Okay? Minute in quantity, because he is the similarly small living force, supreme living force. Okay. Now the supreme eternal never accepts material body. If you go to text 14 of chapter 3, it says, Namam Karmani, excuse me, Namam Karmani Limpanti, Namay Karm Phale Spraha. He said, my activities do not implicate me in the karma. Right? When he kills, it is not incursion. You and I kill will incur sin. Right? Everybody agree? So therefore, he's never forced to take a material body and he never takes material body. Even his body is transcendental. Our body is not. Our body is not eternal. It's not transcendental. It's very, very material, consisting of 5 material elements. Right? Everybody with me?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I just had one question, Prabhu.
Yes, Bhakti.
So when the Lord descends as, the son of Yashoda Maya and Nand Maharaj and all, so they're also all of them who descend with him are all their bodies are transcendental, Prabhu?
Sorry,
Yep.
last part?
Are all their bodies also, are they all transcendental like Lord Krishna?
No.
Yeah.
For example, Krishna ordered all the demigods to appear in his clan. So there were lots of sons, grandsons, etc. They were demigods, they were material. Not everybody who comes. Right? Even some of the gopis and the gopas were not transcendental. body. The Shakti is one. So, for example, the sages of Naimisharanya, when they saw Lord Ram, what did they say? Anybody knows that story? When Lord Ram and Sita were wandering in the forest,
Nisharam
Dandakaranya,
and Dandakaranya.
what did they say to Lord Ram?
They wanted to marry him.
Yeah, this female body, and you want to marry. What did Lord
Yes.
Ram say?
He said that I'll come later and then we'll have the association.
Right. He said, I'm taken. But next time I appear, you can also appear. So those are all material bodies. Right? And that's one of the reasons. There were demigods there. And that's one of the reasons why Radharani said, I'm not enjoying this Ras Leela. And she left. Okay. So not everybody had transcendental body. Many did. So like all the Sakhis, etc., many Manjuris, etc., they did.
I have a question about so it's his transcendental body, but like in Golok Vrindavan, he's always Kishore Avastha, right? He's always in that one age and one form. But then when he's here, he's a baby and he goes through the steps. Very fast he goes through those steps, but so that's still his transcendental body, the same original.
You think only material grows, transcendental doesn't grow?
Well, it sounds like he doesn't. He's always in that same
No.
one.
But when it comes to material world.
Yeah, so and then he stops after a certain time. He doesn't grow any older, even though in our material ages he's growing.
No, not right. He doesn't look any older.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
So what's the point then?
So is that still him? Because he doesn't like he doesn't.
Not just that. Whether he's being a servant of Arjun, he's being a servant of Yudhishthira Maharaj, touching his feet, he's washing the lotus feet of all the devotees and all the guests of Yudhishthira Maharaj and Rajasuya Yajna, right? Whether he's being chastised by Mother Yashoda, being tied with the rope, whether he's being wrestled with the friends and beaten, and all circumstances, he remains transcendental. Still a supreme personality of Godhead. That does not change. And that is why in the next paragraph we read, Bhagavad Gita text, chapter 9, text 11 is quoted. Anybody remembers that verse? Namam avjananti mudha, manusham dhanam ashara. The mudhas don't know me when I come as in the form of a human being. They think I'm just another ordinary human being. They're fools. So we read about that. Anyway, to answer your question, he always remains transcendental. Okay? Right. So there's a group of people who like to prove otherwise. Let's talk about them in the next paragraph. Who wants to read?
Can read, Prabhu.
Please go ahead, yeah.
The Mayavadi philosophers, however, tried to equate the minute living entities with the supreme living entity because they recognize no distinctions between them. Their philosophy is called Advaitavada or monism. Factually, however, there is a distinction. This verse is especially meant to impart to the Mayavadi philosopher the understanding that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Controller. The Supreme Controller, the Personality of Godhead, is Krishna himself. But as a transcendental pastime, he has accepted the form of a devotee, Lord Chaitanya.
Yeah.
Okay. So just because I accepted a form of a devotee, doesn't mean his body is immortal. And that is what Mayavadi is trying to tell. I was saying this verse, let's go back to the verse. Let's read it one more time. Let's do the first line only first. Aikale Ishwar Tattva Chaitanya Ishwar. Only Lord Chaitanya is the Ishwar Tattva. Okay? Only Lord Chaitanya. Bhakti Bhav Maya Tar Shuddha Kalevar. Even when he takes the body or the mood of a devotee, his body is still pure transcendental. Right? Not materially tinged. Everybody okay on that? So no matter what, Whether it's Krishna, Ram, Nrsimha, Vara, any, they're all transcendental bodies. Matsya Avatar, same thing. That is transcendental body. Okay? Okay, let's read the next paragraph.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Please go ahead.
As stated in Bhagavad Gita, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, comes to this planet, exactly like a human being, some rascals consider him to be one of the ordinary humans. One who thinks is that mistaken way is described as muda, or foolish. Therefore, one should not foolishly consider Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be an ordinary human being. He has accepted the ecstasy of a devotee, but he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there have been many imitations, incarnations of Krishna who cannot understand that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself and not an ordinary human being. Less intelligent men create their own gods by advertising a human being is as God. This is their mistake. Therefore, here the words Tantra Shuddha Kalevara warn that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body is not material but purely spiritual. One should not therefore accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as ordinary devotee, although he has assumed the form of a devotee. Yet one must certainly know that although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he accepted the ecstasy of a devotee, one should not misunderstand his pastimes and place him in exactly the same position as Krishna. It is for the reason only that when Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was addressed as Krishna or Vishnu, he blocked his ears, not wanting to hear himself addressed as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is a class of devotees called Gauranga Nagari who stage plays of Krishna's pastimes using Vigraha or form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is a mistake that is technically called Rasa Basa. While Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is trying to enjoy as a devotee, one should not disturb him by addressing him as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Haribol.
Haribol. So this is a very interesting paragraph. The first paragraph we already discussed that no matter what, Krishna, whatever form he appears, his body is transcendental. But then the second half is very interesting. It says here, this is the third line from the top. Although he has assumed the form of a devotee. Do you see that? Right? Okay.
Yes.
Yet one must certainly know that although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he accepted the ecstasy of a devotee, one should not misunderstand his pastimes and place him in exactly the same position as Krishna. So all this time we have spent, last 5 months, 6 months, saying Lord Chaitanya is Krishna. Now we are saying, do not make the mistake of placing him in exactly the same position as Krishna. Is that paradox? Is that a contradiction? Is that contradiction? But there is no contradiction. What basically it is saying is that what is the mood of Lord Chaitanya? Who can answer it? What is the mood?
Mood is to like in the mood of Radharani.
In the mood of Radharani. So as far as he is concerned, he is Radharani.
Yes.
Right? He's whatever pastimes he's doing in the mood of Radharani as a devotee.
Yeah.
Now you go and hold him by the shoulder and shake him and say, no, you're Krishna. Let me serve you as Krishna. What's he going to do? He's going to, you fool, get out. You fool, get out. And he'll be offended. He'll be angry. He'll be upset. Because, as it says, it's a rasabhas. He is in the mellow of Radharani. He tried to put him in the mellow of Krishna. That's not why he came here. So therefore, we say Lord Chaitanya is a devotee of Krishna. He's Krishna, but only as the origin. We don't serve Lord Chaitanya as Krishna. We serve Lord Chaitanya as devotee of Krishna. We try to serve as Krishna, he gets upset. And that's why it says, whenever somebody said, you're Krishna, he'll put his fingers like this, block his ears. I don't want to hear that. Right? Everybody with me on that?
Yeah, that's right, Prabhu.
Important point.
Prabhuji, is that a character, or is that I can't say a character, but is that a feature that's only specific for Krishna or for all his entourage too, like all his associates too?
I did not understand the question, Madhuri.
You know how you said you are not getting the right words. You said, how you said, Krishna says that you're God, like Krishna's associate says you're God, he would not accept it. He would not like that.
Hold on.
Wait, did I get that wrong?
Sorry, Mataji. I did not say Krishna's associates are all God. I never said that.
No, you said something like, Krishna will not accept if his associates acknowledge him as God. He would want to be treated in that rasa, like,
Yes, so what
as
I
a
said
friend.
was, if anybody tried to call him as Krishna, he would get upset. He'd block his ears.
Right, but my question is that fact true even for his associates? Like, how Yashoda Mai, when Balram Bhaiya was trying to say, he's the universal God, and she would say, Chup, you're talking about my son, he's not God, like that.
So his pure devotees will not accept his God. That's correct. If that's what you meant.
I know, but that feature is also there in Krishna, right? So I'm asking if his devotees also, close associates, will also have that kind of a feature.
I don't understand that point. What do you mean by that?
Okay, forget it. Probably I'm messing up. Forget it. No.
No, I mean, they're saying different words.
Okay.
Unless somebody else understood and maybe explain it to me.
Are you talking, like, we're talking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mother? We're not talking about Krishna, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't want to be seen as Krishna. Because he comes in the mood.
Okay, my bad. No, I got it wrong. Sorry.
Okay.
No, I think your question is, Mataji, about his entourage, right? Like, for instance, Rupa Goswami was Rupa Manjari. So would he have a problem of being addressed as Rupa Manjari? Is that the question you had?
Illa. No. What I'm saying is, probably my understanding is bad, Prabhuji. Please forgive me. See, I'm trying to get this. You said Krishna would not really like it if his
No, I did not say that.
devotees.
Sorry, Mataji. I said Lord Chaitanya would not like it if you called him Krishna.
Okay, so yes, I completely got it wrong. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for that clarification.
Okay.
Got it now.
Sorry.
I got it now. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Babaji, I do have a question.
Okay.
So what if somebody has Lord Chaitanya on their altar and are praying to Lord Chaitanya as Krishna?
Why are they doing that?
Because they haven't done this class.
Well, then they are wrong. Simply that they are wrong.
So we have to tell them that they have to pray to Lord Chaitanya as devotee of Krishna.
Exactly.
They should not pray. Okay.
That's right. Does he look like Krishna? Does he stand like Krishna? Does he act like Krishna? No, he acts like devotee of Krishna. That is his mood. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Text 11. कृष्ण माधुर्य एक अद्भुत स्वभाव आपना आस्वादित कृष्ण करे भक्त भाव. So this is getting back to what we discussed about half an hour ago. The transcendental mellow of conjugal love of Krishna is so wonderful that Krishna himself accepts the form of a devotee, relish and taste it. Let's repeat this. This is beautiful. Krishna Madhuri ek adbhut swabhav Apna aswadite Krishna kare bhakta bhav. The transcendental mellow of conjugal love of Krishna is so wonderful that Krishna himself accepts the form of a devotee to relish and taste it fully. So let's read the purport. I'll explain this. This is a wonderful verse. I think they all are actually. But anyway, go ahead.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yes, please go ahead.
Although Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure, he has a special intention to taste himself by accepting the form of a devotee. It is to be concluded that although Lord Chaitanya is present in the form of a devotee, he is Krishna himself. Therefore, Vaishnavas sing, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. Radha and Krishna combined together are Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as Swarup Damodar Goswami has said, Chaitanyakam Prakatam Adhyuna Tad Dvayam Chaikam Aptam. Radha and Krishna assumed oneness in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Right. So, first thing to remember, Lord Chaitanya is not Krishna. It's Krishna in the mood of Radharani.
Yes.
You can't just stop at half sentence. It's the combined form of Radha and Krishna. Okay?
Can I ask a question? Sorry.
Yeah.
So, like, we say Krishna is supreme God. We also say Lord Balaram is also supreme God because he's also the first direct expansion. But then also we say Radharani is also from the is Shakti, is left side of Krishna. So then by that logic, also Radharani is not you would consider that also as like.
Sorry? So what is the last part? Not considered what?
You would also consider Radharani as God by that logic, right? Because Balaram is a direct expansion from his right side, and Radharani is his Shakti from his left side.
Correct.
So then is she also not God? And then in that essence.
So she's the Shakti, which is non-different from God himself. So energy and energetic are non-different because one cannot exist without the other. Okay? So yes, she's the supreme personality in terms of expansion or energy of Krishna. She's the personification of the Ladani potency of Krishna, which is by which Krishna enjoys himself, by which devotees enjoy Krishna. So yeah, that's correct. She's supreme. No question about it. She's supreme. She's supreme energy, but that makes her non-different from supreme energetic.
Right. So then just by property of transitivity, then that's also God, no, or not? Like if energy and energetic are like.
So I don't know why you stuck on the word God. God we reserve for the energetic, and Shakti we reserve for the potency. So she's a personification of the potency. But again, they're not different.
Babaji, can I just
So
I was
no, hold on.
okay.
I want to make sure that he's okay.
No, I'm I accept. I'm just it's I don't. I agree. I don't get it completely. But
no, that's okay. Don't worry. It is not an easy concept to get. How is energy same or non-different from energy? Energetic, they're same, but they're different at the same time. It's not an easy concept to get. So don't worry much about it. Just understand she's the energy and Krishna is the energetic. They're both supreme. Just understand that. Don't worry about it.
Right. No, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, Gayatri, go ahead.
Actually, I was just listening to a lecture about this topic from Radhagovind Maharaj, and verse 7 that we just read, it starts with Swayam Bhagwan. And Maharaj was saying the same thing. He goes, sometimes there's so many personalities that are denoted as Bhagwan.
Right.
But then Swayam Bhagwan is only one.
Yeah, correct.
The one and only is Krishna. There is no other Swayam Bhagwan.
Correct.
So I think it does get confusing when we use the word Bhagwan so frequently, especially like Shivji's Bhagwan. There's so many
Correct.
Bhagwans, right?
Correct.
But maybe to say when we talk about Krishna, we're talking about Swayam Bhagwan,
Correct.
the original.
Correct. So even like Bhagwan is used for Narad Muni, Sarva is used for Indra, who's a demigod.
Yes.
Shivji is not Vishnu Tattva, still is used for them. So Bhagwan is a very generic term. And
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of terms that are very generic and confuse you. So keep your life simple and just know the basic facts, and that will not confuse you. Okay, so I mean, if we start looking at all the incarnations of Krishna, they're all Vishnu Tattvas, they're all Bhagavan, they're all Supreme Personalities of Godhead. But Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everybody's Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Krishna is the original. Lord Ram is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Nrsimha is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Matsya Avatar, Kurma Avatar, Vara Avatar, they're all Supreme Personalities of Godhead. But Krishna is the original. Ete chance kalapunsam, Krishna stu Bhagavan Swayam. Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 3, text 28. Okay, same thing here. In text 7, it says, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, Akale Ishwar. That's it. Only him. Only one, only him is Swayam Bhagavan. Everybody else, Bhagavan maybe, energy maybe, but only Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. Only him, nobody else. Akale Ishwar. Right? It's in black and white. Any doubts? Koi shak?
Prabhupada ji left no shak.
No shak. Okay, good.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, just one thing to add. Can we use the example which was there in one of the purports in Srimad Bhagavatam where Prabhupada ji is saying about the original candle and then there are other
Yes.
candles for lighting?
Yes. So
But the original is still the original.
absolutely. It's also verse number 46 in Brahma Samhita. Deepachire vidashantam abhipetya, deepayate virthu saman dharma. Just you take one candle and light 10 candles with it. All those 10 candles have the same power, but the original is still the original. Right? Okay. Any other questions on that? Then let's read next text 12. इथे भक्त भाव धरे चैतन्य गोसाई भक्त स्वरूपता नित्यानंद भाई. For this reason, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the supreme teacher, accepts the form of a devotee and accepts Lord Nityananda as his elder brother. So they were not elder and younger brother in the sense of having same mother and father. This was like adopted brother. Okay? So Lord Nityananda is the older brother, Lord Chaitanya is the younger brother. Bhakta avatar tar acharya gosai eitin tattu sabe prabhu kari gai. Shri Advaita Acharya is the Lord Chaitanya's incarnation as a devotee. So remember we said Bhakta Roop, that's Lord Chaitanya, Bhakta Swarup, Lord Nityananda, Bhakta Avatar, that's Lord Advaita Acharya. Okay? So these three tattvas are the predominators of master. So Ishwar tattva is always predominator or master. And these three are Ishwar tattvas. Okay, is that clear? Okay, then let's do the purport.
I can read, Ravi.
Please go ahead.
Gosai means Goswami. A person who has full control over the senses and mind is called a Goswami or Gosai. One who does not have such control is called a Godas or a servant of the senses and cannot become a spiritual master. A spiritual master who actually has control over the mind and senses is called Goswami. Although the Goswami title has become a hereditary designation for the unscrupulous men, actually the title Gosai or Goswami began from Sri Rupa Goswami, who presented himself as an ordinary Grasta and minister in government service, but became a Goswami when he was actually elevated by the instruction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, Goswami is not a hereditary title, but refers to one's qualifications. When one is highly elevated in spiritual advancement, regardless of where from he comes, he may be called Goswami. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and Sri Advaita Gosai Prabhu are natural Goswamis because they belong to the Vishnu Tattva category. As such, all of them are Prabhus, predominators or masters, and they are sometimes called Chaitanya Gosai, Nityananda Gosai, and Advaita Gosai. Unfortunately, their so-called descendants, who do not have the qualifications of Goswamis, have accepted this title as a hereditary designation or a professional degree. That is not in accord with the Shastric injunctions.
Right.
Thank
So,
you.
I mean, mainly the point is being made is that a lot of people assume that just because they are the son of a doctor, they are a doctor. And how many of us believe that? Right? Similarly, somebody says, my father is Goswami, therefore I'm a Goswami. Like, why should I believe that? But a lot of families, they do that. They inherit the title, and it's just a title. They may not be having any control over success or mind, but they maintain the title. And so Prabhupada is saying, no, that's bogus. He's saying, but by default, because Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda, and Advaita Acharya Ishwar Tattva, by default, they're Goswamis. And of course, they're transcendental, they are totally in control of their mind and senses. They're not material to start with, they're pure to start with. Okay? So therefore, basically, Prabhupada is saying, it's bogus to say this because my dad is Goswami, I'm a Goswami. Okay? Text 14. Ek Mahaprabhu ar Prabhu dui jan, dui Prabhu seve Mahaprabhu charan. So this is what we talked about earlier in the class. One of them is Mahaprabhu, and the other two are Prabhus. These two Prabhus serve the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. So let's go to the purport. See what it really means. Who has not read yet?
Prabhuji, I haven't read.
Please, Mataji, go ahead.
Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityanand Prabhu, and Sri Advaita Prabhu are all belong to the same Vishnu category, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is nevertheless accepted as a supreme, and the other two Prabhus engage in his transcendental loving service to teach ordinary living entities that every one of us is subordinate to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In another place in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, Ekale Ishwar Krishna Ara Sabha Bhartya. The only Supreme Master is Krishna, and all others, both Vishnu Tattva and Jiva Tattva, engage in the service of the Lord. Both the Vishnu Tattva, as the Nityanand Prabhu and Advaita, and the Jiva Tattva, Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, engage in the service of the Lord. But one must distinguish between the Vishnu Tattva servitors and the Jiva Tattva servitors. The Jiva Tattva servitor, the Supreme Master, is actually the servitor God. As explained in previous verses, in the absolute world there are no such differences, yet one must observe these differences in order to distinguish the Supreme from his subordinates.
Okay, so actually, I don't know how many of you call when we did 142, Akaleshwar Krishna or Sambrata, we did many examples of how different incarnations have served Krishna. I took the special example of Arjun being taken by Lord Krishna to the abode of Mahavishnu, who said, I was stealing the children of the Brahmin because I was getting desperate to see you. That whole pastime talked about. But anyway, the point is, and we also talked about Lord Balaram, who's the immediate expansion, how many different ways he serves Krishna. He serves Krishna as his bed, as his sacred thread, as his shoes, as his pillow, as his umbrella, as his house, and whatever's left, he completes that by singing his glories as Sheshnath. So that Balaram served in so many different ways. And then everybody else is an expansion of Balaram, so by definition, they also serve as Krishna. So everybody, including Ishwar Tattvas, and Shiv Tattvas, and Shakti Tattvas, and Jiv Tattvas, they're all servants of Krishna. Akala Ishwar Krishna are Sabha Bhritya. They're all servants of Krishna. So when somebody tries to say, no, I'm not a servant, I'm the master, obviously, bogus, they don't understand. They can pretend all they want, but ultimately we are all servants of Krishna. That's our intrinsic nature. We are eternally servants of Krishna.
So Prabhupada called them rascals.
Rascals, exactly right. So then it talks about Our spiritual master, he is actually the servitor God. Sakshat Haritven. What does it say? Sakshat Haritven.
Samasta Shastra.
Samasta
Right.
Shastra.
Exactly. All the Vedic scriptures. The spiritual master is Sakshat Hari. Not Hari. But Sakshat Hari meaning is the pure representative, true representative of the Lord. So therefore, he must be worshipped as the Lord himself. Also, I should point out to you, there's a verse that says, Yasya deve parabhakti, jatha deve tatha guru, tasya kahitahi artha prakashante sab mahatma. Just the person who has the same amount of dedication and devotion to the Lord and to the spiritual master. To him, all the imports of Vedic Shastras are automatically revealed. You don't have to study a book. So those of us who are lazy, don't like reading, you start treating our spiritual master same as God, something like that. You don't have to read anything. Everything will be revealed to you. Okay? So that's the point. Our spiritual master is same platform, good as Supreme Personality of Godhead. But he's servitor. Prabhupada asked, are you God? And Prabhupada said, it's a very dangerous thought process because that means tomorrow you become Guru and you will become a God. That's Mayavad. None of us can ever be God. We can be servants of God. We are servants of God. Okay? Any questions? Okay, so we'll do next paragraph, next verse, and then we'll stop. Text 15. Eitin tattva sarv aradha kari mani, chaturth je bhakta tattva aradhak jani. The three predominators, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, and Advaita Prabhu, are worshipable by all living entities. And the fourth principle, another Pandit, is to be understood as their worshipper. Okay? So let's read the purport and I'll explain this.
May I, Prabhuji?
Please, Mataji, go ahead.
Purport. In his Anubhashya, Sri Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Thakur, describing the truth about the Panch Tattva, explains that we should understand that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the supreme predominator and that Nityanand Prabhu and Advaita Prabhu are his subordinates but are also predominators. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the supreme Lord and Nityanand Prabhu and Advaita Prabhu are manifestations of the supreme Lord. All of them are Vishnu Tattva, the supreme, and are therefore worshipable by the living entities. Although the other two tattvas within the category of Panch Tattva, namely Shakti Tattva and Jiva Tattva, represented by Gadadhar and Srivasa, are worshippers of the Supreme Lord, they are in the same category because they eternally engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord.
Right. Again, beautiful, beautiful point. Which is basically what we're talking about, Sakshat Haritva. How is a spiritual master same as God? Because he's eternally, constantly engaged in the service of the Lord. So same point is being made here. Panch Tattvas, three we already established, are Ishwar Tattvas, right? Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda, Advaita, Ishwar Tattvas. Koisha, right? Then Gadadhar Pandit is what Tattva? What Tattva is Gadadhar Pandit?
Radharani in the mood
Shakti Tattva.
Shakti Tattva.
Shakti Tattva, yeah.
Right? And what Tattva is Shivas?
Jiva Tattva.
Jiva Tattva, yes. So, Shakti Tattva and Jiva Tattva are worshippers, right? Of the worshipable Ishwar Tattvas. Okay? So here's the chain here. Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's Mahaprabhu. He's served even by Ishwar Tattvas, Lord Nityanand and Advaita Acharya. Right? So they are worshippers also. Agreed? Then you have Shakti Tattva, Gadadhar Pandit, and you have Jiva Tattva, Shivas. They are worshippers also, even though the Tattva is different. So all four are worshippers of Lord Chaitanya. But Lord Chaitanya is a worshipper also because the mood of devotee. Therefore, they all five are in the same category. Sakshat Haritva Samasta Shastra. You see, Everybody with me on this? And that's why Panchtattvas go together. Right? Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi, Gaur Bhaktivinoda, all go together. Why? Because they're eternally serving, constantly serving the Lord. So therefore, same category. Are you with me?
Like Prabhuji, you're trying to explain that.
Fully with you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Ruchira Mataji.
So I was saying that you're trying to explain that there is a kind of hierarchy wherein everyone is eventually serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the four others. But since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come in the form of a devotee, so all are servitors, so that's why they're on an equal level for Kali people, right?
Yeah, so, equal level in some sense. I don't want to say equal level, period. Some sense. And that's why I say same category. Right? So equal level in the sense that they're all worshippers. But
yes,
Mahaprabhu, Prabhu, Shakti Tattva, Jiva Tattva, so that hierarchy is always there. So this is why Lord Chaitanya's explanation of Achintya Bheda Bhed is very relevant everywhere. Otherwise, you cannot explain the contradictions and the distinctions and non-distinctions. So this there, but it's not there. And that's the confusing part, I accept. But as long as we just get the gist of it, yeah, I mean, something along those lines, you're fine.
Like they all have the same bhav of serving.
Of course. Yeah, exactly.
When you look at the tattva, they're different.
Well, that's one thing. And even the Lord Chaitanya is serving Krishna, everybody's serving Lord Chaitanya. So Nitya is not going serving Krishna. Advaita is not serving Krishna. They're serving Lord Chaitanya.
Yes.
Right? And that's the point.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, like it's throughout, like so far we have read, it says, Krishna, Lord Chaitanya is form of Krishna in the mood of Radharani. When you hear that, it's so hard to not pray to him as Krishna.
Yeah. Because he's Krishna, but in the mood of Radharani. So don't do rasabhas. That's the point. Don't try to change his mood. It's like sometimes when we do Damodar Lila, right? We see Yashoda Maya bound Krishna. But what do we say? Radha Damodar, Radha Damodar. Wait a minute. This is Yashoda Maya in the mood of Vatsalya Ras. The whole pastime is Vatsalya Ras. How did Radha Damodar come? That's conjugal. That's rasabhas. Does everybody see that, or am I the only crazy one?
No, I do see that, and I don't know what to do because we're used to saying Radha Damodar. We're not used to saying Yashoda.
What you do is ask a question. This is why we talked about devotee association. So you're fortunate enough to get devotee association living in Toronto. So then you ask the question, what is this?
Yes. Yeah, why do we say Radha Damodar? we have pictures, we have statues, everything is like with Yashoda Maya and Damodar.
So
that's right.
Two different scriptures answer it differently. One scripture says that after Mother Yashoda got totally frustrated, all the gopis had brought their ropes, thousands and thousands. She tied them all together, still two fingers too short. And whole day she was doing this. She basically started crying in frustration. And that's when Radharani came. She said, Maya used this rope. So Yashoda Maya used that rope and she was able to tie Krishna. So that's one reason for Radha Damodar. Okay. Second is that in Golok Vrindavan, and then it happened in Bhumi Vrindavan also, one time Krishna got late coming to meet Radharani. And she got so angry, she said, there's a punishment, we're going to tie you up with a mortar. You can't move, so I'm not going to let you go back. So she tied him up. That's Radha Damodar. Okay? Third reason is that somehow or the other, the devotees of Krishna cannot be chanting Krishna's name without Radharani for very long. So it automatically comes to them, even though they all understand it's Yashoda pastime. But after having said all that, because she's the Vrindavaneshwari, because she's the Krishna's Praneshwari, somehow or other comes up anyway. So take the reason you like, but that's the reason. But there is a reason.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, she's right. Sakswarup saying, even Satyavrat Muni, if you look at the last line of what do you call
Damodar
Damodar
Ashtakam.
Damodar, thank you. Yeah. Namo Radhikaye Tudiya Priyaye. Namo Nanti Lilaye Devai Tubhyo. Radharani comes to that also. You had to stop it. Krishna is there, but pure devotee, Radharani has to be there somehow, somewhere.
You know, Prabhuji, it gets a little tricky asking questions because there's so many times when we're just like, you just have to believe it.
Yeah, but
you know?
true. That is true.
So sometimes you don't know
you
what
cannot
to
be
ask.
devotee. If you keep asking questions like what they call nitpicking, baal ki khal nikalna, you'll go crazy, you will not be devotee.
Yes.
In prem, you have to assume a lot of things. You analyze, then you're not premi, you're jnani. And jnani have no prem.
Yes.
Right? So your choice, you want to be jnani, you want to be premi.
I think it ends in prema bhav, right?
That's the ultimate. That is the ultimate. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So
Prabhuji, I have a very quick question. It's
very
going
quick.
to be...
Is the answer
Yes.
quick or not?
It's answer should be quick.
Okay.
Is it fair? It's slightly digressing, but is it fair to say that the spiritual masters are actually also serving Krishna in their siddha deha or spiritual bodies in Goloka, and that they're just here, but actually they are transcendentally serving Krishna?
Yeah, so if it is bona fide spiritual master, a
Yeah.
pure devotee, obviously this is they're serving Krishna. They've come here for our benefit on the orders of Krishna. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Prabhuji, in context of the same thing that she was talking about, I think I was hearing 2 days before about how someone witnesses beautiful rath in the middle of the road with beautiful people on that chariot, and that Srila Prabhupada's picture was kept, and they were actually demigods from Swarglok. And then, so it's talking in context to Prabhupada, like pure devotees might, like they're known everywhere, not only from Gurulok.
Absolutely.
And he's Jagat Guru.
Yes.
But this goes only for pure devotees.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. Prabhuji, so if I have 1 or 2 questions before we end the class today.
Okay, so is that not related to this class? Because then you can stay, let them all go, and you can ask.
Yeah, just 1 question not related to the class, yes.
Okay, so can you hold on just 1 second?
Sure.
Anybody else has any questions before we terminate the class?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay,
Thank you so
great.
much.
Thank you very much. Mataji, you want to just call me?
Sure, Prabhuji.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Pranam.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Rao ji, Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Rao ji.
Hari Bol. But Makshi Mataji, finally I get to see you. Darshan. Darshan time.
Ayyo, Krishna. Stop it, Prabhuji. Good night,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
Mataji, sorry. My emotions take over. What can I say?
You made us laugh, Mataji, today by your ille ille ille.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that too.
Oh my God. It's not ille, ille, ille. Ille, ille, ille. Ille. Which meant I was like, no. You guys didn't get it wrong. But I did get it right. That's what.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, प्रभु जी हरि बोल दर्शन दिए भगवान के
दर्शन आपने दिए इनको मैं रुक ही नहीं पाया मैंने कहा एक बार दर्शन जरूर करूंगा आज
हरि बोल
हरि बोल